Hey man, R.I.P. to Tupac Shakur. Some will say he is the greatest that ever did it. Some will say he's probably not the greatest, but he is one of the most profound, one of the greatest. Depending on what your opinion is. Either way though, Pac came, he saw, he conquered, he did so much that still has not been outdone, and he stood for something different. But what we're talking about today is Keefe D and Keefe D's situation and how he got caught up in the whole solving of the Tupac Shakur's murder, but on the flip side, how he's trying to get out of what he himself put himself in. Man, listen, sometimes it's best to just not say anything at all. Shut up. Clout is a hell of a thing. And some people write songs and sing about their crimes and end up going to prison for life. Those rappers that snitch on themselves, that's what I'm talking about specifically. And then you got some old heads out here who start reminiscing on old story and glory days of when I was a gang leader. And yeah, I was right there in the car when homeboy shot him in the head and he put his arm out the window like this. And now you're in the penitentiary with all gray hairs and you're looking like you're sick and you should be home getting some hospice care or something like that. I mean, life is short, man. You got to think about the stuff you do before you do it. Now, the defense attorney that is representing a former Los Angeles area gang leader who is accused of killing hip-hop icon Tupac Shakur in 1996. We're talking about Keefe D. Keefe D is a known area gang leader from back in the day, in case y'all did not know that. Homie was in the streets. He really did put it down. He is verified by a whole lot of certified people. All that, right? Everybody has their time, and then your time goes by. Everybody ain't gangster forever, right? New generations come, things change. You get older and weaker. Youngins get stronger and bigger, and you already know how the cycle goes. Anyways, his attorney is saying that his client's account of the killing of Tupac Shakur was all fiction. He was just making stories up. And prosecutors lack key evidence to obtain a murder conviction on his client. He himself is giving different stories. Attorney Carl Arnold told reporters outside a courtroom following a brief status check with his client Dwayne Keefe D. Davis in front of a Nevada judge, his trial is scheduled for November 4th of 2024. Every time they say your trial is scheduled for and they pushed it way ahead, just know Keefe D sitting in there all this time. He been in there since last year or since early this year, whichever the case may be, but he is going to be in there until the end of this year when his trial begins. We haven't seen more than just this world. He says he himself is giving different stories. Oh man, he's tied up right now. We haven't seen more than just his word, Arnold said of Davis. Police and media interviews since 2008 in which prosecutors say that he incriminated himself in Tupac Shakur's killing, including Davis' 2019 tell-all memoir of life leading a street gang in Compton, California. He was just talking a lot. Prosecutor Binu Palal did not immediately comment outside of the courthouse about the attorney's statements. The attorney is saying we haven't seen anything much other than his words. There's nothing else that ties him to this. Clark County District Attorney Steve Wilson said evidence against Keefe D is strong and it will be up to a jury to decide the credibility of Keefe D's accounts. Damn. You taking it to a jury? Arnold said that his client wanted to make some money from his story. That's all. Vlad TV and all of them, they paying people for their stories, so I wanted to make some money for my story. So he embellished or he outright lied about his involvement in the car-to-car shooting that killed Tupac Shakur and wounded rap music mogul Marion Suge Knight at a traffic signal near the Las Vegas Strip in September of 1996. Imagine something happened in September of 1996. 96. It wasn't even 2000 yet. And here you are in 2024. and you're sitting in a lockup for that. Man, you could have kept your mouth shut and lived out the rest of your days. Anyways, Suge Knight, who is now 59 years old, seems to be plagued by the ghost of Tupac too, because he is currently serving 28 years in a California prison for an unrelated fatal shooting in the Los Angeles area in 2015. I don't even think Big Suge's gonna make it out of there. He was not called by prosecutors to testify before the grand jury that indicted Keefe D last year. Arnold, the attorney, said that Keefe D will not testify at trial, but he intends to call Suge Knight to testify. The defense attorney said police and prosecutors lack proof that Keefe D was in Las Vegas at the time of Tupac Shakur's killing, and they don't have the gun or the car that was used during shooting as evidence. We've seen videos of everybody else here. Where's the video of him? That's what his attorney is asking. They're just nothing at all says that he was there. Obviously, like he said, he was just telling lies just to sell some story and make some money. Keefe D has been jailed. His bail is set at $750,000 since his arrest in September of 2023. Arnold said on Tuesday that Keefe D was unable to raise the 10% of the $750,000 that was needed to obtain a bond to be released to house arrest. Damn it, man. This is where I think he was saying, yo, Puffy, you know what I'm saying, break bread. Because, you know, allegedly Sean P. Diddy Combs has something to do with the involvement of Tupac Shakur's killing and Biggie Small's killing. And Keefe D also, in his wild storytellings, was trying to allude or to suggest that he knows way more about Puffy's involvement in either of the situations, but he's just not saying nothing yet. So Puffy, break bread. I see you got all that money over there. You're on a billionaires list. Puffy himself has since ran into a whole lot of drama, lost all his sponsors, had to relinquish his head position at a lot of the companies, conglomerates that he was a part of, and sold his shares to situations that he had large shares in, because it seemed like his own kingdom was crumbling at the moment. So Puffy got bigger things to worry about, Keefe D. Now, Keefe D, who is currently 60 years old, he's originally from Compton. Now, the police, prosecutor, and Keefe D says he is the only person still alive who was in that car from which the shots were fired, and we know it for sure. We spoke to him before. We got statements from him before, all that. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, if you did all that, why did it take all these years for y'all to pinpoint him and put him under arrest? This is bigger than him, isn't it? This was a big old cover-up, right? Okay. Keefe D pleaded not guilty in November to first-degree murder. And if he is convicted, he would more than likely spend the rest of his years in prison. You know, when the judge say the only time you will leave this institution is when you are carried out because you had passed away. That could be his reality. He is 60 years old now. First degree murder carries up to a life sentence. You already know how that goes. Now, in his book, which he wrote a whole book, and the book sold. Keefe D wrote that he was promised immunity from prosecution when he told authorities in Los Angeles that he knew about the fatal shooting of Tupac Shakur and rival rapper Christopher Wallace, which is Biggie Smalls, 6 months later in Los Angeles. Wallace was known as the Notorious Big or Biggie Smalls. Now, you just implicated yourself in both murders just like that. And then you write a book, and then you put details out in the book, but you claim that you have immunity so you can speak. Well, people are asking, how the hell they got him arrested then if he had immunity? Well, here's the thing. According to what I heard the detectives say, He said, when we arrested him first, or we detained him and questioned him before, yes, we cut a deal. And because we wanted information from him and we had to cut a deal. He's a hardened gangbanger, and it wasn't that easy to get into him because he knows how the system goes and how to play it. So we cut a deal with him, and the deal was that he would give us everything he could, but then he would walk out of there that day and he would not be charged for anything. Boom, bet. He gave us everything. He spoke freely on the Tupac Shakur murder. He spoke freely on the Biggie Smalls murder. He said he held back some information on the Biggie Smalls murder in his own stories, but they said they bought his book and they read his book, and he misunderstood his deal that they had him under. His immunity deal was only to cover him on the information that he gave them on that day, not all this new stuff that he just put in the book. So when he put all this new stuff in the book and they went and bought the book and read the book, the detectives are like, aha, well, this is very detailed. And there are some things in here that only someone who is closely associated with the murder scene and the operation would have been able to know this type of information. This shit is too accurate. Go get a warrant for him and pick him up. And this is how he ended up in a position that he is in right now. He's 60 years old. He was trying to scrape them coins together. Maybe I could write a bestseller book before I get up out of here. Maybe I could strike a couple of millions. Maybe somebody will turn my book into a movie. Boom, I'd get a couple more millions, etc. It didn't work out that way. Police took the book and read it and said, you're not under immunity for this new piece of information right here. And this new piece of information implicates you in the killing of Tupac Shakur. Slap these handcuffs on, go sit your ass in jail until we take you to trial in November of 2024, where we decide if you're going to be in prison forever. Now, this is wild. This is wild, but this is a lesson for everybody, right? Yeah. The sad part about this is Keefe D actually, well, it ain't really sad. It could be chicken coming home to roost. A lot of people who knew about the whole situation from way back in the day, they actually just have nothing to say. They're like, we've been telling y'all from years ago, we knew it. The law enforcement knew it. That's why we were surprised that this particular person was not already arrested and tried and convicted for the murder of Tupac Shakur, but here he is now. What do you think? Do you think that Keefe D was honestly just trying to make some money? Or do you think that he really misunderstood his immunity deal with the police? And he thought, since they granted him immunity, he was able to say whatever the hell he could say, and that's when he told on himself. He thought his immunity deal covered everything. And I'm telling y'all right now, on BrainFLoTv, his immunity deal did not cover everything. It only covered what he told them that day in that room. That's the reason why they're able to use the rest of it against him, because it was not covered under that immunity deal. I look forward to his trial. That's going to make for good TV. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. Sometimes it's better just to keep your mouth shut and go on about your business and live out your days. Hit that subscribe button. It's Hot Topics TV /BrainFLoTv. You already know if the topic is hot, we are on it. I'm out. Peace.